What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE banned Sasha Banks and erasing her, an update on her release, legendary WWE referee Tim White passes away, the real reason why Vince McMahon appeared on SmackDown, his mood backstage, Gunther shows off an insane body transformation, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel. Incredible! Now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Now, first story looks at Sasha Banks being banned in WWE and WWE erasing her. Our top story today takes a look at the Sasha Banks situation and how it appears that WWE are attempting to erase Banks from WWE history. This past Friday on SmackDown, a fan could be seen holding a sign in support of Banks, but whenever this was shown on camera, WWE quickly cut away, as they clearly didn't want the sign featured on television in any capacity. But WWE went one step further with this, and on the digital images from the show, WWE have even decided to Photoshop the sign. The sign now appears to be blank and white with no text whatsoever. In fact, the original message said Sasha Crew for life. To say this is petty would be an understatement. The WWE clearly has a new mandate not to mention or show Banks in any way, and the photoshopping of the sign appears to be an indication that they are slowly erasing Banks from WWE entirely, banning her like they've done with Chris Benoit. What do you guys make of this? Is it petty, or are the WWE justified in their actions? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, an update on Sasha Banks' release. This weekend, it's been widely reported that Sasha Banks has been released from WWE. However, this has yet to be confirmed by WWE, and as things stand, Banks remains listed as an official WWE superstar on WWE.com. In a further update, PW Insider is claiming that Banks is still listed as an active superstar on WWE's internal roster. If Banks had been released as reports claim, then Banks would have been removed from this with immediate effect. It's kind of unclear what's really going on with Banks' release, as the reports seem to change from day to day. Banks alongside Naomi walked out of the WWE last month due to a creative dispute, where it's been reported that Banks is walking away from WWE. There's been no update on the WWE status of her tag team partner, Naomi. Next up, a legendary WWE referee Tim White passes away. Now, we're saddened to report on the passing of iconic WWE referee Tim White. White was a beloved member of the WWE family, and he worked for the company for 24 years in a number of key and substantial roles. He began his career as a referee back in 1985, and during this time, White was actually working as Andre the Giant's agent. He would referee some iconic matches during his career, including the infamous Hell in a Cell matchup between Mankind and Undertaker in 1998. He retired from his referee duties in 2004, but remained with the WWE until 2009, working in other areas of the company. We at Wrestlelamia offer our condolences to the family and friends of Tim White. Next up, the real reason why Vince McMahon appeared on SmackDown. Now, it's been a turbulent week for Vince McMahon, as on Friday it was announced that he would be taking a step away from his role as WWE CEO and chairman. This came after it was alleged that McMahon paid a WWE employee millions of dollars to keep quiet in relation to an affair. McMahon's daughter Stephanie McMahon has now taken over his corporate role, and Stephanie is now officially the interim chairwoman of WWE. Our fans were shocked when it was revealed that Mr. McMahon would be appearing on SmackDown this past Friday, and fans questioned what the nature of this appearance was going to be. It turned out that his appearance was rather pointless, and basically saw McMahon recite the "then, now, and forever together" tagline. Now, this segment currently has 50,000 dislikes on WWE's YouTube channel, so fans weren't exactly impressed with McMahon's short promo. According to a new report released by Fightful Select, McMahon's SmackDown appearance had a rather distinct purpose. Fightful's report stated he's basically showing through his promo that he handles what's in front of him and he's not running. It looks like McMahon is going to face the allegations head on, and in typical McMahon fashion, he won't be backing down. Next up, backstage news on Vince McMahon's mood during SmackDown. And due to the type of week that Vince McMahon has had, it wouldn't be out of the question for McMahon to be in a foul mood backstage at SmackDown, but surprisingly this wasn't the case. According to PW Insider, McMahon was joking around at the production meeting before the show, and during the show itself, he was said to be in a great mood. This was supported by a report by Fightful Select, who stated that McMahon was indeed in a great mood, and he was actually more hands-on than usual backstage. This is rather interesting, and it seems like McMahon wants to show everyone in WWE that he isn't fazed by the allegations. Interestingly, according to Dave Meltzer, the WWE talent as well as WWE corporate employees had no idea about the affair until the news broke, so all the people that work for WWE were just as shocked as the fans. Next up, Gunther shows off an insane body transformation. Since Gunther's call up to the main roster, fans have been blown away by the Intercontinental Champion's physique. Gunther has lost a ton of weight and he looks to be in the best shape of his entire career. Gunther took to Twitter yesterday to share an image of his physique, and it's clear that the former NXT UK champion has been working incredibly hard to get in amazing shape. It was reported a number of weeks ago that WWE higher-ups, including Vince McMahon, were impressed with Gunther's commitment since being called up to SmackDown. Gunther's weight loss is clearly a factor in this, as it was reported by Meltzer in April of this year that McMahon wanted Gunther to lose weight, and this is exactly what he's done. Next up, a former WWE champion going part-time. Sheamus has been one of the most consistent talents on the WWE roster since his Raw debut all the way back in 2009, and while Sheamus remains a full-time superstar, during a recent interview with the 5 Count, the former champion teased of a change of his schedule. He stated, "I think I'd keep it fresh. It'd be great to do acting for a couple of months and then back in the ring a couple of months. Adds to the longevity as well. So yeah, I love being in front of the camera, whether it's promos, backstage, or the in-ring wrestling, or movies, or television shows, whatever it is, it's a fun job." Whilst this looks like the Celtic Warriors looking at ventures beyond the squared circle, Sheamus confirmed in the same interview that he has no desire to retire, and he believes he could have another 13 years left in WWE. He added, "This June 30th, I celebrate 13 years in WWE. I feel I have 13 years left in me, to be honest. I'm still having fun, mate. I'm still enjoying what I do. I still love being out in front of a live crowd and knocking the shite out of my opponents. But yeah, I'm having fun. As long as I'm having fun doing what you want to do, mate, you want to go as long as you possibly can, you know? And that's what I'm doing." Next up, John Cena's WWE return doing big business. John Cena is set to return to Raw on June 27th to mark the 20th anniversary since he made his WWE debut. During his full-time run in WWE, Cena was one of the biggest draws in company history, and this drawing power has seemingly continued into Cena's sporadic appearances. According to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there are only around 3,000 tickets sold for the June 27th edition of Raw. However, when Cena was added to the show, over 2,000 extra tickets were sold. It's unknown if Cena will be working any more dates outside of the June 27 date, but there are rumors that Cena could potentially be facing Theory at SummerSlam. US Champion Theory continues to build a match towards Cena on social media, and Cena vs Theory seems like the most sensible match for WWE to book at this stage. Cena is incredibly busy with other projects outside the WWE, and having any free time seems to be like an impossible task for him. Nevertheless, Cena himself has outright confirmed in a number of interviews that he hasn't retired and does plan to wrestle again in the near future. But if Cena does indeed compete at SummerSlam next month, who would you like to see him face? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, WWE renaming popular show. Now, our final story takes a look at the WWE's decision to rename a popular network show, as Talking Smack is often a show which offers WWE superstars the opportunity to have extended promo time and sometimes even cut unscripted promos. However, WWE have decided to completely rebrand the show and it'll now be known as SmackDown Lowdown. That sounds terrible. WWE filed for the SmackDown Lowdown trademark just this week, and it looks like this rebranding idea was relatively new. What do you guys think of it? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.